Okay, so this is my YouTube video. I'm going to be looking at the history of TV, how it got from analog to HD, and where it's going to go on from there. So, a good place to start as any is at the beginning, and to do that we have to look at who invented television. Now, there's been a lot of debate over who actually invented it. Some say it was a Scottish fellow called John Logie Baird, and most people will probably recognise that name. Others say it was a Russian called Vladimir Zworykin, and then others say it's an American called Philo Farnsworth. Obviously, Americans and the Russians debate that quite highly. Um, However, the general credit goes to Zworykin and Farnsworth, and even more so, the patent actually goes to Farnsworth. So John Logie Baird kind of gets pushed out the picture, even though he was the first to publicly demonstrate how to transmit an image to a television. So for the purpose of this, I believe that Zworykin and Farnsworth are the people that actually invented television as we know it today. I'm going to rattle through a few dates now, so that could be a bit boring. So to liven things up, I'm going to use my remote to try and make it a bit more visual for you. Let's take a look. In 1927, the BBC became the corporation that we know it today. In 1932, they started using Baird's system to transmit TV. However, in 1936, they changed this into the system that was used by Farnsworth and Zworykin. In 1939, the suspension of the TV service came about because of World War II. However, in 1946, it came back and the TV licence fee was introduced. In 1949, BBC television service began to spread outside of London. In 1950, the first cross-channel broadcast from France to England took place. In 1953, using 21 cameras and viewed by 27 million people, the coronation of the Queen took place. In 1954, the Daily News Bulletin started, as well as the first on-screen weather presenter, who was George Coling. In 1955, independent television started being broadcast in the London area. In 1958, the amount of households that had a TV exceeded the amount of households that only had a radio. In 1958, the BBC used videotape to broadcast a show, and that is when VHS became the supported format over Betamax. So what came next? In 1962, the Pilkington Report suggested that the BBC should add another channel, BBC Two, and shortly after this, the first transatlantic satellite broadcast was achieved. In 1964, the Pilkington Report saw BBC Two come in place. In 1967, the start of colour transmissions started on BBC Two. In 1969, audiences around the world watched the moon landing, and in 1969, colour service was available on ITV and BBC One. 1972, there was a removal of restrictions on broadcasting hours, while 73 saw the teletext system demonstrated by the BBC. In 1974, video recorders went on sale, and in 1976, colour sets outnumbered black and white sets. 1982 saw the Channel 4 start in England, Scotland and Northern Ireland. In 1983, start of breakfast television by the BBC, followed by TV-AM on the ITV network. You'll be happy to hear these dates are nearly over, as we're going to jump from 1990 and the creation of B-Sky B to 2006 when HD started. And in 2007, the analogue switch-off began, and the BBC Two signal at Whitehaven in Cumbria was cut off. And by 2012, they're hoping to have cut off all analogue systems to turn over to purely digital. Now, let's take a look at what I think will happen with TV in the future. So, where will TV go next? There's so many things on the horizon and already happening now that it is making TV progress by so much. The internet is a massive key in my eyes. That's going to be the place where it's all going to go. We've got BBC Player, iPlayer, ITV Player, Sky Player, 4 on demand. With all those on the internet, easily accessible, you don't have to pay for any other than Sky Player. You can access whatever you want, whenever you want. You're not tied to a broadcast schedule. So something like that is unbelievable. But if you link that with a TV, which if you've got Sky, you've got Sky Plus, and you can record whatever you want. You've got catch up on BBC and most Freeview boxes. So if you could link those two together so that you're watching TV, whatever you want, you can just go on the iPlayer or on ITV Player through that. And even link that with games consoles, where the PS3 have iPlayer at the moment, and Xbox have Sky Player, which unfortunately you have to pay for, but it's still there. With those all linked together, that would make one incredible machine. And I think that's where Sony especially are going with the PS3, where they've got the ability to play Blu-ray, you can get on the internet to watch iPlayer, so obviously connected to your TV. So to link all those together, but also have a computer interface, one device that does everything. Okay, some might